it really possible to earn a full-time income making balloon animals? We're going to be talking about that and more in this video, so stay tuned. Money today. I know this is always a question that people have when they're first starting out. How much money can a balloon artist actually make? Is this something I can actually do as a job? Can I quit my actual job and just make balloon animals for a living? We're going to be discussing whether or not that's really possible, and if it is, how can you actually get there? Spoiler alert, I was actually one of those people earning a full-time income as a balloon artist before we left Texas and relocated here to Georgia, and my business has sort of shifted focus to be more online and training based. And I know there's lots of other professionals in the industry who do balloon twisting as their full-time income. So I want to tell you my story because that's the only story I can tell. And then we'll talk numbers a little bit and run through some scenarios of how we could make it possible for you to make your living playing with balloons all day. So when I first decided to start my balloon twisting business professionally and take it seriously, I was in a desperate place. I had been working in an office job that was just soul-sucking and I could not take it anymore, and I just put in a 2 weeks notice one day. I was like, I'm done, I'm out of here. And the owner of that company was like kind of passive aggressive anyway, and he was like, well, just go home now. Just don't even take 2 weeks. Just this can be your last day. So I wasn't prepared for that. And actually my rent check bounced on the apartment that I was living in at the time, and so I got an eviction notice on my door. It was just everything came crashing down, and I was pretty desperate. I had no idea what I was going to do. I had done some work previously as a balloon twister for another company, and so I knew that this was a skill that I had and that people would pay for. And so I decided I'm just gonna go all in on balloon twisting. We've got to make it work. So I was leaving balloon dogs with flyers on people's doors in neighborhoods that I wanted to work in. I was posting on Craigslist. Facebook wasn't really what it is today, so I don't remember that I posted on Facebook much about it, but I was advertising on Twitter, and actually one of our first gigs that we got was because of what I was posting on Twitter back then, which I don't really use much anymore. But I was hustling. I was doing whatever I could to let people know that there is a balloon artist in town. I got a website up really fast. Thankfully, my background and experience was in web development, so that part was really easy for me. Now, I wasn't earning a full-time income with just balloons that first year. And I would say that most people won't earn a full-time income with balloons the first year that you pick up a balloon. It's going to take you some time to get the word out, to get your client base built up, and to just let everyone in your town know that you're offering this service and why they should pay you for it. So just expect that you can start earning cash really quickly. But it's probably not going to be full-time cash. But it is great. I mean, it's so easy if you're just looking for something to supplement the income that you're already getting. Maybe you work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and you'd like to do something on the weekends that you have that you're not doing anything. Doing balloon animals at parties and events is a perfect side hustle that fits in because it's usually done on the weekends, and then you can keep your regular job during the weekdays. So that is a great option, and also kind of how I transitioned. I did work a few other office jobs while I was building up my balloon twisting business on the side until I could completely quit all those office jobs and just focus on being a balloon artist. Now, what full-time looks like is going to be different for everybody, and also depending on what part of the country you live in, you're going to need to make a different amount to consider it full-time or living wage. For myself, when I was living in an apartment by myself and just me and my pets and very low expenses, and I didn't eat out much or anything like that, my goal for me was $2,000 a month, which was very doable with the income that I was making from balloons. Most balloon artists in the USA are going to start off charging anywhere from $50 all the way up to $300 per hour. If that seems ridiculous to you because right now you're working some sort of minimum wage job 40, 50 hours a week. And then this balloon artist comes in on the scene and they're making $100, $200 an hour. I know it seems crazy, but just remember that you're not going to be working 40 hours a week as a balloon artist. And there's a lot of work that you're going to do that you don't get paid for at all during the weekdays, like taking phone calls, like managing your calendar and all the events that are coming in and keeping track of everything, confirming events with clients, keeping track of where the payments are, who owes you, who's paid a deposit and all that. It's very time consuming. And so there's a lot of work that goes on that you don't get paid for directly. And that will take up a lot of time on your weekdays. And then on your weekends, when you're out partying, there's only so many hours in a day, right? And there are some hours, like in the middle of the day, from like 2 to 4, that everybody wants to have their party during those hours. And so sometimes it can be hard to fill up your weekend calendar with those morning and evening hours. So you might not always have a fully booked weekend. When you're first starting out, you should just try to get as many events as you can and not worry so much about having a fully booked calendar. Know that it's going to take time to build up that client base and start getting that word of mouth marketing working for you. And then as you progress in your business, you can start expecting to be booked every weekend. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 parties, but you're getting parties on a consistent basis. And then once you've got that going really good and strong, then you can focus on scaling that to be multiple parties a weekend. And then you might even need to bring in help from other artists around town to help work your events with you or for you. So when it comes to numbers, you've got to really decide what is that number that would be like the goal for you. So for me, when I got a house and a mortgage and everything and really wanted to quit my 9-to-5 jobs, my goal was to make about $50,000 a year just from balloons. If you divide that out into 12 months, it's a little over $4,000 a month that I needed to make. So that was my goal every month, was to try to get to like this $4,000 amount. Some months are slower, some months are much more busy in the entertainment world. So just know that you might make more or less some months, but as long as it all evens out to about an average of about $4,000, that's what I was looking for. Now, I also lived in one of the lowest cost of living areas in the country in San Antonio, which was great. And San Antonio loves to party. They shut down the city for a whole week to have a festival called Fiesta, and people actually get a day off of school for Fiesta. So it's a great town to have a party business in. There's always a party going on somewhere. So I was really fortunate that that was the city that I found myself in, and that's where I got started. So for you, I would recommend you decide on what is that figure, what is that amount you'd like to make per year, and divide that by 12. And then that's your goal for how much you're going to try to be working towards every month. You could even go further and divide that number by 4. There's usually about 4 weeks in a month. So my goal was always to make about $1,000 a week. Now, if you're charging $100, $200 an hour for your services, then you can figure out how many hours a week do you need to work in order to hit that $1,000 goal per week, or whatever your number is. For me, I was always aiming to get about 8 hours of work a weekend. And once my business had been established for a few years and we had a really great reputation in the community, it was very easy to hit 8 hours of work a weekend. And actually, we got so busy that I actually had to start giving parties away to other artists in town and just act more as a booking agent that would take a booking fee and then have contractors help me fulfill all the parties that we were getting. So getting 8 or 10 hours of work a weekend was very reasonable for me and my business. I know there are balloon artists out there that have grown even beyond that, and if you get into decor, there's even more potential. Jobs are much more expensive and the profit margins are larger. It does cost a little bit more to get started with decor, the pumps and the equipment that you need. There's a lot more that you need. Whereas with balloon twisting, you can basically get started with a $5 hand pump and a bag of 100 balloons if you want to. I've seen people show up at events with just balloons all scattered out in a plastic bin and their hand pump. They were just getting started. So you don't need to spend a whole lot of money investing in a bunch of fancy equipment and pumps. I worked for years with just my dual action hand pump. Years before I invested in a fancy floor pump or an electric pump. So very low cost of entry, and you can start making money right away. Don't expect it to be full-time income the first year or two that you're in it, but it's a great side hustle that you can have alongside with whatever you're currently doing to earn extra income, something that you're building alongside your current job and getting to a place where you can transition over to balloons being your full-time income eventually. If you're brand new to hearing about this in the event entertainment world altogether, and this sounds too good to be true, like a job that you would love to have, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so that you'll get notified when I put out new videos like this to give you other tips and advice for how to start working as a balloon twister. I do tutorials every week that can give you the basic skills that you actually need to work as a balloon twister. And then I've got a lot of other free resources available for you guys to help you on your own journey of becoming a professional balloon artist. One of the main things I've got here is called my line work guidebook. Line work is just parties that you do where you've got a line in front of you, so you're moving kind of fast. And so I've put together all of my tips and tricks in this PDF that you can download and read immediately. Just how I handle events and how I actually work events in a way that makes it enjoyable and leaves the clients and the customers and you happy at the end of the day. So this is a good read. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on it, and that's free for you to download. The link is in the description below. As you get started in this career though, you're gonna find that just like any other creative profession, you're gonna be asked to work for free quite a bit. And I've put together a video that explains kind of how I handle those requests for free work. You can catch that here. If this video was helpful for you guys, all you gotta do is pop the like button. Let me know in the comments if you are a full-time professional working balloon twister or if you want to be. And if you've got any other advice that you'd like to give new balloon artists, we'd love to get your input in the comments. So leave a little comment down below and help a twister out. All right, I hope that was helpful for you guys. I'll see you over in the next video. Till then, happy twisting. Bye, everybody.